Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Rio dab of the day. Today is Saturday. Hello, everybody. You know, because we live in chronic pain and don't feel well, a lot of times we keep our exercise to a minimum. I think most of us would agree that more exercise, unfortunately, brings more pain if you have a back issue or something like that. But there are muscles that you need to exercise even with that pain. There are muscles that we need to keep in shape. There are muscles that we need to focus on because without them, it can be very difficult. Those are our mental muscles. We need to focus on the muscles that can transform things from bad to good. What I mean by that is if your life is a bucket of shit that day, it's up to this muscle between these ears, on top of this neck, to change that perception, to put your finger on the edge of the bucket of shit and start pulling yourself back up. But unless you have the muscle, you can't do it. So the advice, the message is we have to exercise that muscle. Interesting what's happening right now in the world. People are preparing for pandemic, God forbid, and things like that by getting more food in the house, water, different things. You've got to prepare for the stresses of chronic pain, and you've got to prepare for them really well. I did not all the years. I lived in denial. I lived in denial that I was going to have this happen, and I always thought I would be able to move it away and fix it. My sister was right. Your body takes over. But the muscle, your brain, is a very strong muscle. And this goes back to our very basic discussion of eating a whale one bite at a time. You don't make revolutionary change overnight. But if you don't have the tools to make the change, it's impossible to do it. And the number one tool to make improvements in our life is our brain, is our mind, not our body. Believe it or not. Because it's the attitude that changes us. For example, if you're homebound, can't go out. You have learned to adapt to being homebound, to bringing things in, to having services brought to the house, to expanding your own brain and horizons by using internet and things like that if you're a homebound person. God forbid you can't walk. You've found a way on a wheelchair or whatever you have to use to get around as much as you can. The brain, our minds, our psyche are just like that. We have to have it prepared for things that can happen. What I mean by that is you can't be off on a red herring chase. You can't be off, oh my God, I have a pimple, and focus on that all day and make that what you're focusing on. Life's too important for that. Rather, you have to train yourself to use your mind on the important things to make change on. You can't change whether you have a pimple or not, but you can change whether you're going to go out and do an activity. So you need to assess what's going on before you can make a change. The change may be a change for less, to do less. It has to be an appropriate change. But these transformations, these changes take place sometimes when we want them to. Sometimes they happen organically and we can't control them. So the attitude, the approach of saying to ourselves we haven't failed, the approach of saying to ourselves we didn't do anything wrong when things happen is very important to us. We must maintain the attitude of we're good people. Because what happens when you have less activity in your life, less meaningful things you do, you begin to feel differently about yourself. So you must take your mind between these 2 years and say, hold on a second, I'm a great person, I'm a good person. It has nothing to do with those things. So it's very important, maybe we could call it perspective, that you maintain a certain perspective during the horrible pain you have, during physical situations, because perspective can keep you in motion. For example, a friend of mine's wife had a kidney stone. It could be very painful. So I'm on the contacting him. Oh my God, I'm hoping it's not painful. Not too much pain. In other words, they're approaching it. She's approaching it. It's not that bad. Instead of approaching it, oh my God, it's going to be the worst thing I ever felt. Oh my God, what am I going to do about it? Oh my God, I got a kidney stone. Oh my God, the name kidney stone means I'm going to have. It's not the name of what you have, it's how you perceive what's going on. You know, Navy SEALs, fighters of all types, are charged with adrenaline in the heat of battle. You do know they could be shot by a gun several times and still move and run and take care of business for about a half an hour. And then slowly the adrenaline decreases, injury takes over. But the amazing part about it is mind over body. And what I would like to try to share with all of us here is that this is what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to take our horrible, invisible pain and transform ourselves to, wait a second, there's life out there. There's life beyond my pain. So the issue for us is that we've got to have something that's going to bring us out of the horribleness, that's going to clear it up for us that there's good things out there in the midst of all the bad. And for us, let's face it, most of the bad, I would hope, because it's that way for me, most of the bad is pain. Because my life, thank God, my wife, my family are wonderful to me. So let's move on, take our dab, and let's try. Look, there's no promises with this. Let's try to transform our attitude just a little bit to more positive thinking, to we can solve the problem. Okay? It might not be the pain we solve. Does that make any sense? I might not be able to solve my pain, but maybe I can make something else better. Okay? How's that one for a grabber? We know we can't stop the pain. We know it's no operation. This is the way you're going to be. But you know what? There's something else that you can do that's going to be good. You transform it. You move it, if you will, to something you can deal with. Cheers. Cheers. Banana in the morning. Maybe we do what a shrink does. Maybe we transform our issues by shrinking them to things that we can deal with. This is the real Senior Stoner, hoping that everybody's able to get a handle on things and transform their attitudes just a little bit to help themselves. Cheers.